Dachshunds. You see them everywhere. They're cute, they're tiny, but are they the perfect little companion dog? Well, what if I told you they can also be one of the most stubborn, noisy and high-maintenance dogs you'll ever own? I'm Will Atherton. I'm a canine behaviourist and I work with problem dogs every single day. And let me tell you, Dachshunds are not the easy little lap dog that everybody thinks they are. So before you fall for just how adorable they are, let me tell you the truth about owning a Dachshund. To understand why Dachshunds behave the way they do today, we need to look at where they came from. Now, these little guys weren't designed to be pampered pets. They were bred over 600 years ago in Germany with one purpose in mind: tracking and hunting game underground. Early Dachshunds were much larger than the ones we see today, with some weighing up to 30 pounds. They were bred to hunt badgers, foxes, and even wild boar. That's why they have such long, low bodies and oversized paws. They were built to dig deep into burrows and flush out prey. Their name literally means badger dog in German. Even today, you can see those natural instincts kicking in. They're hardwired to scent, to track, to dig, to chase. It's in their DNA. But hunting badgers wasn't their only job. Over time, German hunters bred different sizes, larger ones for wild boar and smaller ones for rabbits. That's why today we have standard, miniature and even toy Dachshunds, and 3 different coat types: wire-haired, long-haired and short-haired. So if you're getting a Dachshund thinking that they'll just chill on your lap all day, then think again. They were made for action. And if you don't give them a job, they will find one. And you might find that that is barking at everything that moves or destroying your furniture. But despite their challenges, there's a reason that Dachshunds are one of the most popular breeds in the world. Because when they're raised right, trained properly and given what they need, they can be incredible little dogs. Dachshunds are fiercely loyal dogs. They bond deeply with their owners, and once they love you, they'll love you for life. They're also playful, full of character, and if you're looking for a dog with personality, then a Dachshund has plenty of it. Now, I'm not going to lie, Dachshunds can be incredibly stubborn, but that doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. They are very clever dogs, and with the right approach, they can be trained to very high levels. They're also highly adaptable. Whether you live in a flat or a house with a garden, a Dachshund can thrive as long as their needs are met. So yes, Dachshunds can make amazing little companions, but I'm not going to lie to you either. They also can come with a whole host of problems. And we are going to talk about all of those bad traits in just a moment, but first we need to talk about something just as important, because if you get this wrong, not only could it cost you thousands, but it could also ruin your Dachshund's quality of life. Because while they might be small, Dachshunds come with some big health concerns. And if you don't know about them before getting one, you're in for a nasty surprise. Now, I've been working with Dachshunds all my career, and let me tell you that their health problems are no joke. Now, the biggest health problem plaguing Dachshunds is something called IVDD. Now, that's a problem with those elongated backs, and studies have shown that up to 25% of Dachshunds can have this at some point in their life. And the reality is that it can cost thousands to treat, and some may never recover and be paralysed for the rest of their life. And IVDD isn't the only problem that Dachshunds face. They are prone to obesity because they absolutely love their food. But the problem is, if they put on too much weight, which they can do very easily, that puts even more pressure on that elongated back, making the IVDD even more of an issue. They are more likely to develop dental problems. Because of those small mouths, they are prone to getting gum disease, and if you don't stay on top of it throughout their entire life, it can cause massive amounts of discomfort. They are also prone to many different varieties of eye and heart issues. Genetic things like progressive retinal atrophy and a variety of heart diseases can creep up on them later in life, again costing thousands to treat. Now, Dachshunds may be small, incredibly cute dogs, but that doesn't mean that they're low maintenance. And if you don't go into this prepared for those potential health risks, you may be setting yourself up for a huge heartbreak and massive vet bills. And if you think that's bad, just wait until we get into their problem behaviours. So we've looked at the Dachshund's history, we've looked at their good traits, and we've looked at their health problems. But now it's time to really be brutally honest about what it's like to live with one. Now, it's not all cute Instagram pictures and snuggles on the sofa. We're about to meet Odie, a classic example of a Dachshund whose needs haven't quite been met. Now, Dachshunds might be small, but they have huge personalities. And if you don't get their training right or give them the proper fulfillment, things can go downhill fast. It is by far the most common problem behaviour with them, though. We see it kind of all the time. He actually seems quite sweet, if I'm honest, but his reactivity is super common. Obsessive barking is super common. And it comes from them being bred to go in kind of tunnels after badgers and stuff. When they used to do that, they get stuck down there all the time, and the hunters didn't want to lose their dogs. So if they need to find where the badgers are or find their dog again, they need to be able to dig them out. So if the dog's constantly barking, it helps the hunter know exactly where they are under their feet. Pretty much nobody uses them for that purpose anymore, but what we're hearing is the remnants of that is why kind of they still do that. So interesting fact, but not necessarily the nicest thing to have to deal with. Now, in my work as a behaviourist, my inbox is flooded with Dachshunds with behaviour problems. Most of it is stemming from the fact that they are one of the most stubborn breeds out there. And if they don't see a reason to listen, they simply won't. And if you think they'll be easy to train just because they're small, think again. And a huge number of Dachshunds suffer from separation anxiety. They bond closely with their owners, which means if they're left alone too long, they can panic. And that leads to the next issue, which is when they're bored, anxious, or frustrated, a Dachshund will find its way to entertain itself, and that is usually at your expense with some pretty severe destructive tendencies. So we've seen all the different ways that things can go wrong with Dachshunds. Now, don't worry, I'm going to go back and help make sure we get that under control with Odie, but this next section is going to be really important to make sure you don't suffer that same fate yourself. Now, we have to remember that Dachshunds aren't just active dogs, they're incredibly intelligent dogs, and then we need to use that intelligence in a good way so that it doesn't develop into those problems we've just seen. Now, scent work's an amazing way that you can do that. We've got a fun little setup here and a little vial of truffle oil, and I'm going to hide it in one of these, and we've been working with Dougie on teaching him to sit and mark on the right one to let us know which of the ones it's in. It's an incredibly fun game, and it allows him to use those ancestral traits that are baked into his DNA in a way that's incredibly fun. Dougie, search. And when he finds the right one, he'll make the right decision to sit and mark on that item as he's working it out. Yes, good boy. Good boy, place. Yes, stay. This is a far, far better way to use that desire to work for us to be working together as a team to put all of those amazing skills that were bred into him for a reason to use, but doing so with me in a fun way, rather than him becoming self-employed and making the decision to work in ways that can be downright dangerous or just incredibly frustrating. Now, scent work is really fun for Dachshunds, but it's not the only thing that you can do with them. Daily loose lead walks with your Dachshund is amazing. Not only does it help them understand that they have to follow your guidance and direction as their loving leader, but when they do so, it provides huge amounts of mental stimulation as well as physical exercise, which is amazing for you both. Now, general obedience can also be amazing for Dachshunds, place, and it puts that intelligence to good use. And don't let anybody tell you that Dachshunds aren't capable of high levels of obedience. Dougie, come. Yes. Heel. Good. Weave. 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 Place. Yes. Dougie, come. Dead. Yes. Oh, he's a clever boy. You can absolutely be practicing these really fun things with your Dachshund, putting all of that intelligence to good use, providing them fulfillment that they need whilst everybody's having fun in the process. Another great bit of fulfillment and mental stimulation that you can provide to your Dachshund is things like snuffle mats or puzzle bowls or licking mats, anything that engages their nose with having to forage and find their food. But you don't have to worry if you haven't got one of those things, because Mother Nature has given us the best snuffle mat in the world, and that's grass. You literally just take some of your dog's food, scatter it in the grass in your garden, and then when you're ready, break. And you let your Dachshund put all of those ancestral desires to good use in a time and a place that you have decided, so that they don't do those things at the wrong time, at the wrong place, which might be digging up your furniture or your carpet and any of your hard-earned possessions. So after everything we've seen, should you get a Dachshund? Well, to make it easy, I'm going to break it down and we'll score the Dachshund across 6 key areas so we can compare them to other breeds. Starting with training and intelligence, I've got to give it a 4 out of 10. Now, they are intelligent, but they don't always use that intelligence in ways that might benefit you. When it comes to friendliness with their family, however, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10. It is one of the best things about Dachshunds is just how beautifully they bond with their owners. Now, when we talk about friendliness with strangers, we're going to drop that down to a 5 out of 10. They were bred to be alert and vocal, and that includes being wary of new people, which contributes to that severe reactivity that they're often prone to. Friendliness with other dogs, we're going to go for a 6 out of 10. It really does depend on the individual Dachshund. Some can be great, many not so much. But they're not a breed that specifically is amazing with dogs or terrible with dogs. Now, when it comes to their overall health and maintenance, I have to score it a 3 out of 10. This is probably the biggest downside of the breed, especially with IVDD, and making sure that you manage their weight to ensure that their backs suffer as little as possible. Now, when we talk about their behavior stability, I'm going to have to give them a 4 out of 10. They are prone to a lot of different problem behaviors, and I see that in my practice as a clinical canine behaviorist every single day. So then, the Dachshund scores 31 out of 60. They are sweet, loving and affectionate dogs, but they're also very stubborn, can be difficult to train and come with a whole host of health problems. Now, if you still want a Dachshund after all of that, then maybe they are the perfect breed for you. Just go into it aware that there's going to be challenges that you're going to need to overcome. But if you do so, you can have a dream canine companion. Now, do you think I was too harsh on the Dachshund? Or maybe I was too generous? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you want to see how other breeds compare, then make sure you subscribe and let me know which one you want to see next.